Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be recapping my thoughts on all of the new products I've tried out this year thus far, starting with the products I was disappointed by and the ones I think you guys should avoid. I just feel like there's better out there for sure. Then we'll move into the products that didn't necessarily work for me, but they may for you. Maybe they didn't work out for my skin type, or maybe they just aren't for my personal taste, but I see that there are people who may like the qualities that I dislike in them. I feel like I just overcomplicated things there, but that's okay. Then we're going to move into the products that I really liked, and then we're going to finish off this video on a very positive note with my favorites. So let's get into today's video. So again, we're starting with the disappointments to get the negativity out of the way. So starting with this concealer from Westman Atelier, this didn't work out for me because I found it to be a little bit of a tricky formula to use, and it was also unflattering all in one little tube here. So it's tricky to use because no matter what I did, I found it to like really sit on top of my skin. So it would kind of like move and budge around, which made it look kind of patchy underneath of my eyes. And I found that this was unflattering because it's a thicker texture. So it just always looked obvious that I was wearing a concealer. It never really meshed into my skin. So this was just a no-go for me. I feel like there's much better quality concealers out there for sure. Next are, unfortunately, the Rhode Peptide lip shapes. Although I really like the concept, they just missed the mark for me. The one thing that kind of confused me about this product is that it does have a little bit of a shine, almost like a glossy shine, which for this type of concept, like these were meant to kind of go out of the bounds of your lip line to make your lips look more plumped and contoured and all of that. Of course, you can use them as a normal lip liner too, but they were marketed as kind of like a overlining shadowy product. But typically when you want to get that effect, you want to use something super matte because the glossy shine of this product will actually reflect off the natural edge of your lip, which will just make things look a little bit silly or unrefined to me. So I'm going to swatch these next to a Korean brand's version, which a lot of the Rhode makeup products are very inspired by K-beauty products. So if you like the concept of one of their products, K-beauty probably has it and has done it better as well. These specific ones that I'll be swatching are the Lily by Red Smiley Lip Blending Sticks. And you'll see right here what I mean. So these are the Lily by Red ones and these are Rhode. You can tell how big of a difference in texture. Like these have like zero shine or anything. So these would be really good at contouring and like plumpifying your lips. Another thing that I really disliked about these is the longevity, because there's actually none. They just completely disappear. So when I tried these out, they would migrate beyond my lips so quickly. You can see like when I blend these ones out, they have a little bit of a stretch, which you would want, but they kind of almost like blend in and sink into your skin. Whereas these, when you really stretch them out, you get that nice shadow with quite a bit of pigment left behind. And this kind of just leaves like a glossy sheen, which looks kind of weird. I really like the idea of the Rhode Beauty products, but because they just don't last on me, the haze and like the trendiness and the cool girlness of the brand has really kind of dissipated for me. Next I have these What's Up Beauty products. These are the Cheeque Terry blushes. I actually don't really love these ones. I find them to be too infused with a highlighter, so that I find them to be quite texture enhancing, and they're not the easiest to blend out either, which is kind of interesting. They do feel very similar to like a baked blush, but they are a little bit more sticky and hydrated. So once you apply them onto your cheek, it's like really hard to blend the harsh edges away. So if you do have one of these, I really recommend going in with a brush and tapping it into your palm a little bit, because it does have like a stamping effect, which is really odd. And if you have one little bit of skin that isn't fully set, it kind of really adheres to that area easily. So because these patch up on my cheeks so easily, that's why they're in my disappointments. Now getting into the products that didn't work out for me for one reason or another, starting with the Huda Beauty Ube Birthday Cake Powder. Of course, obviously, this just wasn't made for me, although this collection was so freaking cute and it inspired me so much. I can get away with using this if I use just a touch, and if I'm going in with similar colors on the rest of my face, whether on my eyes or my cheeks. So I will be keeping it for those like very specific circumstances, but this on deeper skin tones looks stunning, especially if you kind of like that more ethereal pinky vibe to your skin. I think this is such a nice cutie product, and I of course love the base formula of this loose powder. It's one of my top favorites ever. So It's more so just the tone doesn't work out for me, but wanted to give you some updated thoughts on the Ube birthday cake powder. Now, this is another powder from Kosas, and this is the Cloud Set Translucent Loose powder. I was kind of disappointed by these. Unfortunately, they're a lot more shimmery than I expected. I thought it was just going to be like a loose version of the pressed version, but this does highlight my texture on my skin quite a bit more than I'd like for a setting powder, but maybe that's something that you actually enjoy. You want to have a more luminous set to your base, so maybe you would actually like that. But for me, when I go for a powder, I need it to be quite mattifying for my skin type and for my preferences all around. And the last product in this section is also from Kosas. It's the new Revealer Extra Bright Serum Powder Color Correctors. So these are very, very potent in coverage. So if you have some discoloration that you really want to knock out, I think this would be a really good option. It's a very full coverage color corrector. It's just a little bit more intense than what I need or want in a color corrector. I typically like ones that are a bit more sheer, so once I add concealer, I don't have to like add extra concealer to cover up the coverage that my color corrector adds, but that might actually draw some people into this product, and the formula is actually good. It's just not what I typically go for a color corrector, and that's okay. Now getting into the products I liked, let's continue with this setting powder train here. This is the Nabla Close Up Blotting Pressed Powder, and I actually like this to touch up my makeup, but if I go in with too much, I find that it can look a little bit chalky. When you buy this, it does come with a provided powder puff. I don't really recommend using this product with a powder puff, or else you get that chalky appearance. You actually just need like a loose, fluffy brush for this to be really effective, and so that you don't get that chalkiness. Here, I'm going to touch up my forehead here on camera so you can see, but it does have a really, really pretty blurring blotting quality, so it doesn't really add another huge layer of powder to your skin. It just kind of sops up that oil or the shine from the other products you went in with, and just kind of resets your makeup really nicely. See, that's really nice. But it's not my top favorite blotting powder that I've tried. I actually really like going in with the Kosas Cloud Set pressed version. That always like really revives my skin, but this is a nice option to have. I think I'll keep this in my purse for when I go out because it's nice and thin and compact. It's a good one, but not the best one, but I still really like it, and I have gone in with it quite a bit the last few months. Now I have some glowy things to talk about. VIEVE just knows how to create a good highlighter, and these ones are really beautiful. They're a bit more intense than I usually go in with every day, but I do like to have that option when I want to go in with something a little more intense. I haven't even said the proper name of these. These are called the Nova Glow Liquid Lights, and my favorite shade has been Ballerina, but Bijou has been really nice as well. It's like a really nice, soft, warm, champagne-y glow. So here's Ballerina, and this one is Bijou. So it has like a really nice thin serumy base with like no visible glitter whatsoever. So here you can see the texture. Really, really pretty. So I put these in this category because these are a bit more intense than what I go for every single day, but they're still such a gorgeous, gorgeous formula. And because they are more intense, they don't actually add like an obvious layer at all. They still seep into your skin beautifully. These are really nice ones. Very similar talking points. These are the Quo Beauty blush wands. They're actually really, really cute. As you can see, they're definitely a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury beauty ones. I actually prefer this formula quite a bit more than the Charlotte Tilbury ones because they don't dry down as quickly as Charlotte Tilbury. So you have a little bit more working time, which is so important so you don't ever get a harsh edge. And I really like the finish. It has, again, kind of like a more serumy, dewy texture that does set down eventually, and it doesn't stay feeling sticky. But they're really, really pretty. Very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury ones, just a little bit easier to use, which is awesome. Following up with the What's Up Beauty Cheeky Terry Bronzer, I actually like this formula a lot. It's not as shimmery or glimmery as the blushes in this line. It's a little bit more matte, and if anything, these really heavily remind me of the Glowish by Huda Beauty bronzer, that bronzer I'm in love with, which was so sadly discontinued. It has a really, really pretty soft effect that's really easily buildable, and it does have a nice natural looking sheen. It's not as highlighter-esque as the blushes, which I personally really like. I feel like this mimics more so a skin finish than like an actual glowy product, if that makes sense. These have been really, really pretty, and I've reached for them quite a bit. I have quite a few lip products coming up next, but I'll tackle these eyeshadow palettes here from Charlotte Tilbury. These are actually quite nice. They're not the best out there, but I do really enjoy them. I actually really like this purple one. The shadows in here work really well, especially for purple shadows. I've always found that purple is a bit tricky to work with, but these ones are very smooth and easy to work on the eye. I also like how this one is laid out. It's a good balance between some mattes and some shimmers. And this one was actually easier to use than this neutral one here in Super Neutral. The purple one is called Digital Lilac. This one, I found that it was a bit dry. When I would try to build up depth and definition, it kind of just like swept away, and they don't really layer on top of one another very well either. Like once you have your initial layer down, you can't really add anything else on top without it like really floating away. The shimmers in here are really pretty. They're kind of moon dust-esque from Urban Decay, just a little less sheer in base. They're very pretty and intense. Like Charlotte Tilbury knows how to make a really pretty shimmer shadow for sure. I really like them. I'm not obsessed with them in any sense. They work, but I'm for sure being super picky here. Like they are good, they work well, so that's why they're in this category here, but this one does feel a little bit more spicy and special. Now let's get into this lip section here. So Quo Beauty also has little dupes of the peptide lip treatments from Rhode, and these ones are actually really nice. I would purchase a full size for sure of this. These are maybe a little bit more tacky in comparison to the Rhode ones. The Rhode ones, they do have a really nice mouthfeel if you don't get a grainy one. They're very silky and plush feeling, whereas these are a little bit more typical gloss feeling a bit. They have that kind of grip and tap, which I do like because I feel like it sticks around on your lips a bit better. And these two that I have do have a nice minty scent to them. There's one that I had that had a watermelon one. What drew me to these is that they do have that super glossy finish that kind of fills in your lip lines and makes your lips look really nice and plush without being like super sticky and like gloopy on the lip. I really enjoyed them. Now getting into this little duo here from Glossier, the Black Cherry collection. I really like these products together. I think it creates a really gorgeous look. Getting into each product separately, starting with the lip liner. I find that this liner is a bit tricky to use. You have to be quick because it's quick to set. And I found that some days when I go in with it, it leads to some patchiness quite quickly. So now that I know that I have to be a little bit more quick with it and blend it out as I'm applying, I'm fine, but it does set quicker than I'd like. And the Balm.coms from Glossier were never like my top favorite lip balm product, but the tinted ones kind of make it worth it. I treat it more so like a lipstick, and this is a really nice tone. I see myself wearing this a lot in the summer, maybe not with that lip liner, but more of a brown one for kind of like a bronzy lip look, and it's really pretty. I like how consistent this one is in texture and tint, and it feels really nice and lasts well. I like this one a lot. Next up, we have the Givenchy Rose Perfecto Shine Serum Lipsticks. These are them on my hand right now. As you can see, they have a really pretty glassy finish to them, really nice pigmentation. They just don't feel that special. I feel like every single brand has like these tinted lip balm-esque sticks now, which I love. I do really like them. These feel more similar to these products right here. The Kosas wet sticks, maybe less balmy, just a little bit more dry. They actually feel most similar to the Glow Paradise lipsticks from L'Oreal. They have that kind of like drier texture when it comes to a balm, if you know what I mean, but with a really nice high shine finish. Yeah, like this looks like it should be part of that collection right away. Hey, like that's the same thing. I'll swatch it here so we can see closer. Yeah, see, that's like the exact same kind of vibe. And they even smell kind of similar. I feel like these are actually very close dupes, but they're lovely. I have been using them. Like these are some of my top used and most favorite products in my lip collection. Like I use them all the time. They're no stranger to my purse either. But I think because I have such an attachment to these two different products already that like my heart is already full. Like I don't know if I have much room for these ones, but if you really like Givenchy and these colors here, I think you wouldn't be disappointed in them at all. They just feel very similar to other things I've tried, so they're not the most unique. Now these, I kind of didn't know where to place. These are the Makeup by Mario glosses. I really like the base formula, so that's why they're in this category here. I think I was just a little bit saddened by the beautiful, darker, richer shades in this collection because they don't really show up like that on your lip at all. And there's a ton of colors in this collection, but they all pull very similarly to one another, like with very minor differences. So this is definitely a product that you should expect that's going to be super sheer. It's going to basically be see-through. Of course, like these deeper ones do have a little touch of a tint, but it's like nothing what you would expect from the pigmentation out of the bottle. So I just want to prepare you all for that. Like, it's definitely a line that you only need one from the line, if that makes sense. Like, if you love your initial one that you picked up, if you get a second one, I think you'd be disappointed in it. So you can see they're just super, super sheer, which is nice. I often go in with a clear lip gloss at the end of my lip combo anyways. So that's why I have been using them. But yeah, they're just a little disappointing shade-wise. But formula-wise, really nice, rich, and plump feeling. I'm going to add a little bit of this pinky one here. It's like not too heavy, but it adds a lot of gloss without a lot of thickness, which I enjoy. And the last product in this category are these crystal lip butter balms from Half Magic Beauty. These are actually really cool and awesome and unique. My favorite shade is the bronzy one, which is the shade Cinnowitch. And it's because it reminds me of the lipstick my mom was wearing when I was growing up, which was VIEVE from MAC. This one is just obviously a little bit more intense in shimmer than that one was, but these are actually really pretty. And what surprises me the most is that they don't feel gritty on the lips at all, which is truly Half Magic, because even the Half Magic Beauty lip glosses, the lip drip lip glosses that are super, super glittery, when you rub your lips together, you don't feel any grittiness, which is wild. Like, if I like super press my lips together, there is a touch of grittiness, but nothing what you would expect like a full-on glittery lip balm would have or feel like. I'm wearing a little bit of the shade Celebrity mixed into my lip combo just for some extra like gloss and kaboom to my lip combo. I see myself using these kind of as lip toppers instead of like a full-on lipstick, but they're really fun to play around. I think they're really cute. They're just products I don't really see myself using every single day, but for days I want to shine a little extra, for sure. They're so cute. Glittery and frosted lips are really in again, which is fun. I feel like we've been seeing a lot of like matte and shiny colors, but not glittery, which I think it's kind of refreshing. Getting into my favorites now, I think, well, I'm not going to favorite them because I was just going to say this is my favorite thing, but I looked over and I think I could say that about a lot of things. But starting off with this is the Givenchy Glow Serum Foundation, and I've worn this every single day since I've gotten it. It's such a good foundation. Oh my gosh, it gives such a gorgeous skin finish. Very blurring, but it does have a really pretty healthy glow, and it is really good for on my oily skin. Like, it lasts all throughout the day and it doesn't separate on me in my oilier areas. It looks stunning until I have to take it off. Even once it gets a little lived in, it looks beautiful. It's very refined, it's long wearing, it's everything I could ask for. It's been so good to me. Another product that's been really good to me has been the Rare Beauty Liquid Contours. This is actually kind of phasing out my love for the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer, which is kind of wild for me to say. But this is such a beautiful texture. Like, look at that finish. It has a really nice serum-y texture that's super easy to blend in, but then it does kind of set down, but it has like a really pretty soft pearl in it that's not glittery or shimmery to the eye. It just really makes it look balmy and gorgeously glowy without feeling that way on the cheek. So it just like stays put all day. I'm wearing this all over my cheeks today. I use the shade Gentle and it's been lovely. Massive fan. I think this is probably one of my top favorite products from Rare Beauty for sure. And don't let this look of packaging scare you away. This isn't like the liquid blushes from the brand at all. They're a lot more maneuverable and buildable, and they're not like going to be like full-on pigment right away. I don't know if I gave you my official like rounded up thoughts on this product here, but this is the Makeup Forever Artist Sculpt. I use the shade Precious Latte, and this is a very precious product to me. I've used it so much. I'm starting to see like the indentation of like the pan. That's crazy. I've only had this for a few months, but I have used it nearly every day. It's such a soft and beautiful one. It has replaced what was missing for me with my Fenty Beauty Into Sun Bronzer, which I tried to repurchase a few months ago, and it actually, the color did change and it's a lot lighter than what it used to be. So it doesn't work on me anymore, but this was exactly what Into Sun was for me. So this was my perfect contour bronzer in the winter months when my skin was at its palest, because it wasn't too warming or too cooling, that it just made my skin look really nice and alive. It was like the perfect in-between color for me then. And the powder has such a nice silky touch. It's lovely to work with on your cheek. It just basically blends itself out. It's so lovely. You can barely see it on my skin right now. It's too light for me at the moment. but it's a lovely product. Ooh, I have another bronzer here. This is the Phytosurgence Spectral Sunlight Cream Bronzer. I use the shade Rosy Daybreak most often, and I love this stuff. So it's a very unique product because this actually feels like a wax. When you touch it, it feels really dry and stiff. So when you are working with it, and it's not a product that actually like melts to like the warmth of your finger, you have to kind of be a little bit more aggressive when you pick it up with a brush. So you have to like really dig in there, and then you like pounce it onto your cheek, and it almost looks like a powder once it's on your cheek. It's such a good consistency. I love it. It has such an airbrush quality to it too. It's one of the most unique products I've tried in a while. That's excited me a ton. As you can see, I've been a big fan of it. Oh, it's so amazing. And similar thing for the highlight version. These are called the Phytosurgence Spectral Shine, and I use the shade Divine Daylight most often, which is like the really pretty golden one. This has a very like soft, ethereal, softened glow to it. It doesn't enhance any texture at all. It actually blurs it out, which is really nice. And same thing, this is like that really waxy, stiff texture that even if you like gently swatch the product like this, you like barely pick up any of the product. So again, you have to be kind of aggressive with a denser brush than you're used to going in with a highlighter. But these are beautiful, and I cannot wait to bring them on my trip to Mexico soon. Finally, we have a few blushes. So these ones are really, really pretty. I've been wearing these quite a bit. You haven't seen these much yet, but I think you will because I love this formula so much. These are the SAIE SuperSuede Radiant Blush Powders. So my two favorite shades are Mia, which has got to be my #1. As you can see, it's like very much up my alley. It's like a mauvey berry color. And this one, Chow, which is like a gorgeous rusty shade. But these are really like soft, soft, soft baked blushes. They have a glow to them, but they're very softened in comparison to a lot of baked blushes out there. They don't have like a actual particle glow, if that makes sense. Like I can't see like glitter or like an actual particle of a pearl at all, but you can see it does add quite a bit of luminosity. These are just so nice. Although they are kind of a shimmery blush, they don't highlight texture at all, but I still really like applying this higher up on my cheekbone rather than in the center, and it gives a really pretty 2-in-1 kind of look without it being really heavy on your cheek. And these here are so cute. These are the YSL Make Me Blush blush powders. I've been all about them recently. There's two different formulas. There's one that has a little bit of a sheen, which I would apply higher up on my cheekbone, and there are some that are completely matte, which I usually like to apply kind of closer into the apple of my cheek for a youthful look. Both formulas are really pretty, so it depends what type of vibe you like. I think these are really pretty, and if you want like a touch of luxury, these are so much more affordable than of course like a wallet or like an actual YSL purse or anything, but you still get like that YSL experience with like the packaging. It's just so stunning, and the product inside is actually beautiful as well. My two favorites have been the shades 44, this one here, which is a shimmery one, and 54, which is this really pretty like sunburnt berry. They're really, really nice. And then lastly, these are just shade extensions of one of my top favorite liquid blushes ever, but I wanted to mention them just in case you missed the new shades. These are so cute. I did film a cheek swatching video, so I'll have that linked, or I'll put a little clip of it in this video here, but I'll swatch all of the newer ones. This neon pink one is wild. It has so much pigment, but it looks so good on deeper skin tones. On me, it's a little intense, of course, but they're so cute. So this one here is the one that was launched in the Ube collection that came out at the beginning of the year. That's the shade Ube Cream. It's a really pretty lilac leaning blush. Then up top here is that neon pink I was just talking about. It's the shade Intense Guava. In the middle up top is Bubblegum, and then the last one is Sunset Lychee, which is what I'm wearing today with a bit of this YSL blush here in the shade 57. I wanted to see what that combo looked like, and it's really cute. I felt like having a little peachy moment today. But here are those new shades up close. These are just my top favorite liquid blushes ever. They're so nice. And I love that she comes out with these really fun colors. And those are all of my thoughts on all of the newer products I tried out. Let me know what types of videos you'd like to see from me. I'm thinking of starting a decluttering series. I am in a spring cleaning mood for sure. So keep an eye out for that. But that's going to wrap up today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I'll have everything I talked about listed and linked in the description box down below, so feel free to check that out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!